just push a little bit to me. I'd rather be the one not on the screen and you on the screen because you're really running it. A little more, Bob. We need to push so that that's
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get you a little more on the screen here. Just pull my way a teeny bit because it's that microphone stopping it, Bob.
Oh,
So, no, you got to push my way a little. Push your chair. Push your chair. There you go.
oh,
All right.
what's she trying to say?
Are you muted? Dieta, take your mute button off.
Okay.
All right, Andrew, we're ready.
You're all set.
Okay, we open the minutes. Open the meeting at 5 o'clock.
Let's do it.
And discussion of updates statewide.
We have to do a roll call because not everybody can
Oh,
tell who's on
okay.
the phones and stuff. Okay, so
Okay.
Bob Harris.
Yep.
Dieta
Yeah.
Moran,
Here.
Andrea Souza,
Here.
Paul Amaral, and Christopher
Or-
Borden are absent.
Okay, first is emergency voting. I think you just,
For the statewide
Yeah.
primary.
yeah,
So we're in the process. You're not going to see me because I want you, Bobby, on there, but I'm distancing, but on the side of him.
go handle it.
There you go, right there. So we're in the middle of emergency voting. Anybody can come in. The town hall door is open for voting purposes from 8:30 to 4:30. We're not getting it's very light. Christine, we're not getting much, right?
No, we have a total of 6 since Wednesday.
So since last Wednesday, we have a total of 6.
6.
The primary. It's only a
Anybody need-
primary now, just on District 6 and 7. So,
Do people need to call and make an appointment to come in, or can they just show
no,
up?
the door's open for voting, for emergency voting.
Okay.
We are really trying
right.
to oblige any of their requests. If it's somebody trying to turn in an application, we tell them just knock on our clerk door, we take it there. They can put it in the drop box. They're voting, the emergency voting, we have to keep the town hall open, and it is, the door is open. They can come in. We're getting a lot more in mail ballot applications than would cost than people coming in. That seems to be the favorite way to go at this point.
Okay, then we need the final canvassing.
So Christine printed out your final canvas for the statewide primary. Actually, it was printed out, I think, last week, wasn't it? But Dieta came in and signed it, and Bobby's here, so we'll take a motion on that to approve the final canvas. We had no one come in to
Yeah.
object. It was advertised.
You have to, Dieta, you have to unmute.
Yeah, leave it unmuted, Dieta.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think, I make a motion that we accept the final canvas as it was presented last Friday.
I'll second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Next is Rhode Island DOT, placing of political signs on state property.
That was a memo that came in
Yeah.
from DOT. We get that every year, every election year. And it's requesting that we send it out to all candidates. I actually have not got a listing of all the candidates' emails yet. So we're gonna have to work on that. Christine, would you make a note for that? For you and maybe Jeannie Spencer can help to get a listing. I have some, but I don't have all of them. So I'm going to be requesting they give me an email just for the purpose of correspondence through Board of Canvas or Town Clerk Office.
Because I know in the south end, there's plenty of them on alongside the road. God, that's a lot of them.
Well, we go through this every year
Yeah, I
though,
know.
and all the DOT is asking is that would we please let them know? So we're gonna send them,
Yeah,
we're gonna email them all a copy of that flyer. Sometimes it's tough to get their email addresses, but we'll try the best we can.
the third is, number 3 is certification of statewide general election, November the 3rd, 2020, mail ballot application.
So for the November 3rd election, general election, oh, here's Paul. Let's recognize Paul here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So for the November 3rd election, we already have 470 applications, mail ballot applications. And of them, 11 have been rejected. Now, they could be rejected because the name doesn't match or they're not registered, but for each one that's rejected, Christine has assured me that we send out a memo to them explaining why it's rejected and trying to assist them to get it corrected. So that's on the November 3rd general election. We just finished the September statewide, and I just want to let you know, for the statewide, as of today, we've received 238 mail ballot applications. Of them, 166 were rejected. Now, the bulk of those are going to be rejected because they're the wrong district. People don't quite understand that it's only a primary in District 3306 and 3307
Wow.
for Democratic House Rep District 71. So they're not quite, they're not quite sure, and they send in, they download and send in. But each one of those also got a memo saying you are not in the district of the primary. Okay? And you're right up to date on those, right, Christine?
Yes.
Yes, everything's pretty much right up to date. She's got a good job on this.
Okay, next we're gonna go into the financial town referendum.
So this is the one that we're kind of squeezing in the
Yeah.
time here because we didn't have that lead time up to the 3rd Saturday in May like we normally do. So we can start advertising in March and February. So for this, we put out an advertisement last week to say when the last day to register was, which is August 29th, I think. I'm pretty sure it's August 29th, isn't it? Last day to register. But it was put in the kind of times where we always advertise.
August 27th.
Oh, I'm sorry, August 27th. And this week, we've got 2 ads going in. One of them is to let the people know that we have mail ballot applications available. So
For the FTR, we have mail-in ballots?
yes, we do everything on the designs of the state, but we
Okay.
make our own, we print our own, we get them out. We print out all the envelopes to send the ballots out with the return envelope. So we follow the forms that the state uses, but we have to do them ourselves.
And it's by
That's what we
request.
take the mail ballots at the end of the night. We open them and the Board of Canvass enters them into the computer, into the DS 200.
But it's by request, right?
It's by request, or they can download them from the computer if they want it, or they call us, knock on the door, we hand it to them, or they call us and we mail it to them.
All right.
So no, it's only by request for the FTR. This is
Yeah.
not being sent out by the state. This is
Right.
the town. So we're on a short schedule here from the date that is set for the FTR. So I want to make sure we can get, Christine, were you working on the FTR for the permanent?
Yes, that's what I'm doing today,
Okay, so
mailing all those out.
she's mailing all the permanent mail ballot requests. And we started to get a couple in already, didn't we? Yeah. I expect we'll get a lot more. You know, a lot of this is going to depend on whether or not there is alternate budget proposals on. That's what usually drives people to want to vote
Have
on.
you heard anything?
As of 4 o'clock today, I have not had anything. I
Okay,
have not received anything. But the deadline for that
And
isn't.
when is the FTR?
The FTR is on Saturday, September 26th. And we
Okay.
have 3 days of absentee voting here at the town hall, same hours, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on the Wednesday, the 23rd, Thursday, the 24th, and Friday, the 25th. So there's 3 days of
Okay.
absentee ballot here that you can just walk in and vote like we normally do, but we've added a day. And there's mail ballots for as long as we can get them out, and hopefully people get them and return them. Now, we're taking them in however they want to bring them. They knock on our door, we take them. They put them in the drop box, we check it several times a day.
Nancy,
Yeah,
I'm not real happy with that, putting the ballots in with the tax things. I think that's a real opportunity for problems. Have you been able, they haven't sent you the regular official mail ballot box yet?
I don't think they've come in yet. They said by the middle of September, they'll be in for the November election. But I have to tell you, we used that for the PPP, and we've used it for this primary, and we haven't had any problems. It's a
Really?
great-
Okay.
And we check it several times a day. It's checked first thing in the morning, last thing before they leave, and during the day. So it is checked.
So- And so who checks it?
The clerks or the tax collector.
Okay, so in the whole scheme of things, non-election officials are touching those ballots if the tax guy certs them. Is that right?
Well, they actually walk through the clerk's office, but yes, the tax collector department empties that, comes to our office with it, drops off what we have for us, and then takes their mail to the, but we could, if you don't like the idea that they're doing that, we'd have to stop the lockbox. They'd have to knock on the door with everyone, but you're not going to stop people from putting it in the lockbox, I'm telling you. They're going to do it anyway, is what I'm saying. Now, we have already put where we're going to secure the, oh, shoot. Christine, make a note of the camera for this. For the box that the state is going to provide for us, they said by the middle of September. We're going to secure it with a, in the corner of coming into the door, not where the other mailboxes are, which I think could be, but by the railing coming into the door. It's going to be secured in there. We also have to have a camera 24/7 on it. So we're going to have to try to get somebody to come down and put up a camera. But at least that it's visible by, it's visible because we have, starting with the emergency voting, we have 2 clerks out here in the lobby, and I can see through, there's a glass part of the, so all the way down the side of the door, we can see where it's going to be. So that might have more visibility. But
I was
at
more
this
concerned
point,
about-
all we have is the lockbox. But I mean, we get people's tax payments in it, everything. It's
I was
tax.
just more concerned about who takes the ballots out of that box.
But are they taking out just a sealed envelope, or are they just thrown in there as is?
Door number 2.
No, right now we're just getting applications. They're in an envelope.
Okay.
But if they put the whole ballot in, it's in their ballot envelope. It's in a sealed envelope.
So
And I gotta tell you, the box, the lockbox is 5 feet from our door. The girl leaves our door open, actually, goes get it and comes right through with it. So I think it'd be hard, Paul, but if you want a Board of Canvas clerk to go out with her? We'll have a Board of Canvas clerk go out with them. So maybe we could do that. Would that
I,
help?
I think that, am I being overly cautious, Paul? Is that, I just don't want to have any kind
Yes.
of situation where people say, look who's touching those ballots. Remember the whole thing they had about people
think
driving with the ballots?
I think if it's just the clerk's office that are actually opening up those envelopes together, we're fine. And that's what it sounds like is happening. It's not that the tax collector or anybody else is actually opening envelopes and seeing what's in there before giving it. They just take out the stuff that they know is there and giving the rest to the clerks. Am I correct on that, Nancy?
Yes, but I think just to a level of comfort, Christine, would you make sure tomorrow, because I've got an appointment in the morning, would you make sure you ask Kelly when they go out to get the mail for a clerk, Board of Canvas clerk to go with them?
Sure.
Okay. I think that should
Yeah.
settle it. And they probably will just let us have the key and we'll go get it and give them the tax mail. I don't know how that'll work.
Mhm.
Because they're not in a heavy tax collection time right now. They won't be till after the FTR, but I do expect for the FTR, we could get a lot of mail ballots out and we could get a lot of ballots. So we'll try to take over getting the mail in and giving them.
Yeah, thank you. I just think
That's
that
fine, that's not a problem.
it's an area of concern.
Okay, that's fine. We'll work on that tomorrow, Christine. Make sure that we speak to her. No, I don't think a motion's necessary. We understand what you want. We'll take
Okay.
care of it. Paul is trying to.
Yeah, Paul.
Nancy, the early voting, is that 7 to 8, you said?
The absentee voting, yes, it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Same time a poll would be open.
Thank you.
And when's the last day that they can submit a petitioner's budget?
That would be Saturday, August 29th.
29th. No, they changed, yeah, okay.
So I'll be here on the Saturday, but just till 2 o'clock.
Okay,
Because after that, if you haven't taken it out, you're not going to be able to get it out, get the signatures and get it back.
okay.
And I put that on the advertisement. So, I mean, it's the same time I've done every other year. I was here all day last Saturday in case anybody wanted to come in. I was here the Saturday before, but I think by 2 o'clock, I'm set. I may stay a little later, but that's the time I'm giving them. Today at 4, we haven't received anything.
Okay, number 5, general election update.
Well, we got B yet, meeting to approve this.
Oh, that's, okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that the 31st?
Yes, that's August 31st at 4 o'clock, right?
Yes.
And we've got to be there personally, right? It's not a Zoom.
Well, it is a Zoom because by Gina Mundo's orders, everything we do has to also be live on Zoom. We can't not. So even if everybody was in this building, we'd still have to do this Zoom in case anybody wanted to speak. So this meeting, our regular meetings, we don't allow it. It's not a webinar. So in other words, they can't come in and speak, but we could do that as a to allow anybody that wants to make comments. Now that one, I have asked the solicitor to chime in. What I plan on trying to do is get everything ready by Saturday. So I'm trying to stay a step ahead of the game because it's going to be tight. So, but the solicitor will also attend that meeting. Now, he may not be down here. He may be on Zoom, but he does that for the council meetings. I think that meeting maybe should be a webinar as well, in case anybody has any comments.
And what time?
That's 4 p.m. Christine, would you note to tell Chris, ask Chris tomorrow, when he schedules that August 31st meeting, to please schedule it as a webinar
Okay, will do.
and not just live on YouTube? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to set it up for certification. Now, you don't have to be in. You could be, it's as long as you're on Zoom. But if I could get 2 of you in the office, it would be helpful, because you could sign the certification that I've got to send up to the state to prepare the ballot.
Okay, I'll come in.
Okay. I know, Paul, you work, so that's going to be difficult for you.
Awesome.
But if Deetta and Bobby are in, or anybody else that wants to come, but I'm just saying, I'd like 2 in the office that day, just
At what time?
because we're on short time here. So
What time you want to send?
it's going to be at 4 o'clock, so you could come in about 3:30, 4:45.
Get that, Deanna?
Got it.
Okay.
I had already had it, last time we discussed it, and I already put it on my schedule. I don't know why, but.
Okay. Well, you're good.
Mm-hmm. 7-level thinking, as we said. Mm.
Okay. Now we're on general election. We're gonna get a general election update, polling locations and sanitation of polling location.
Yeah, this is really just keeping it a front
Yeah.
in case we get the information on it. I don't have all the information on that yet. We're still working with the state on what they're going to require of us. Same thing with the sanitation. Sanitation is put under general election, but it's the same sanitation for anything else. When someone comes in here to emergency vote, our clerks, of course, have their masks on. They clean down the area that the person was doing the vote. So we're cleaning in between each one because it's just here at the town hall, and we're able to keep up with that.
Good.
When it comes to the primary up at the high school or the general election, we can't do that ourselves. We're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
have
what I was
to
gonna ask. Yeah.
gonna have to get some cleaning companies. I'm just holding off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I haven't heard clear from the state whether, because a lot of communities having problems getting poll locations and poll workers. So I'm not quite sure if they're gonna let us combine any polls or anything. So I don't want to go out and hire for all these till I'm sure. I think on the November, I've got a little bit of time to be able to do that. I really need to, it's the FTR and the primary that I need to get now.
Well, let's go back to the FTR. How many people do you have and how many more you need?
Have you done up all the poll workers? No, we haven't done it, but I think we're gonna, as far as poll workers, we have enough for our primary. And I think we're gonna have enough for our FTR because different ones have called. What we're having trouble with now is moderators. And moderators and clerks. So we're gonna have to move some of our supervisors up to moderators and clerks. There are some more than capable of handling it, but they kind of shy back. But that's going to be a problem because a couple of our good moderators, that Mike Papademetrio, he can't do it this year. There's issues, so he doesn't want, and this is the big time. And there was a couple of others, weren't there? Yeah, Henry Taylor's unable to do it.
Yeah.
We're having trouble reaching 1 or 2 others. So for the primary, I think we're using someone new up in that position, aren't we, Christine?
Joan Shabbat is
Yeah.
in that position. Yes. Someone,
Joan's gonna move from supervisor into moderator, which I think she's more than capable of doing. We do have some other supervisors that, they don't like to take on all that responsibility, but they would do fine, I'm sure. So we're going to get through this and the FTR. As far as the November, you know, once I get through that FTR, we'll really concentrate on the rest.
We've got a
Nancy?
lot of clerks to set them straight if they needed anything. Anyway,
Yeah,
Nancy,
yes, Paul.
do we have a firm date on the FTR at this point?
Yeah, the 26th.
Saturday, September 26th,
Okay,
with absentee voting on the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before at the town hall. The actual FTR is going to be held at the Tiverton High School gymnasium.
The idea of this is, one you always ask, poll worker meals. You hear me?
What?
I said, this is poll worker meals.
Oh, okay. I'm supposed to bring them?
Just see if Wayne would cook us up something. No, we haven't started getting on that. I mean, the fact of these applications
Yeah.
coming in, that's really tying up the office staff. We did bring Kathy Wood in, and we may have to bring another person in.
I think we should just duplicate what we did for the PPP.
I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have to contact Family Ties. Because for the primary, we don't have any more workers than we had for the PPP. We're fine.
Mhm.
We're gonna have 4 supervisors.
Dad, I thought you were making everybody.
What?
Dad, I thought you were making everybody lunch. I thought you were personally making everybody lunch.
Hey, I don't even cook around my house. Wayne's the cook now. I'll check with him.
Okay.
Okay, do that.
I think we're okay for the primary. And then when, you know, as each election gets behind us, it gives me a little more
Yeah.
breathing room to move,
Mhm.
concentrate more on the following one. But it'll be more the November one. So I'm just waiting to see what happens with the state there.
And the next one down is lottery placement of candidates.
So that's when we, you know, kind of pick out of a hat the
Yeah.
lottery of all the local candidates that are running for council, school committee.
And when will we do that?
Clerk. Well, we can schedule it on whatever meeting you want. I'd like to get the primary out of the way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think get the FTR out of the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't take much time, but then we have to, you know, log them in that way. Because they're gonna want the ballot. They're gonna want that ballot
Yeah.
sooner rather than later for the November election. So they're probably waiting till after the primary because that, you know,
Okay.
creates their ballot for the state. So we're gonna have to do it, but we can do that in September.
Mhm.
I want to get through the primary before we do anything added,
Mhm.
just because of these damn ballots.
Okay, the next, we're on approval of minutes of August the 7th.
Wait a minute, let's go back, just so that we're clear. For the meals on the FTR, we're going to duplicate what we had for the PPP.
For the meals on the primary, we're going
No,
to
on the
duplicate
FTR.
what we did for the PPP. For the meals on the FTR, I'm going to have a few more workers there. So we can do that, or we can split that. We can put that on another meeting. But for the primary on September 8th, we're going to mirror what we did on the PPP.
Okay,
Okay?
all
But,
right.
you know, the FTR is going to be driven by whether or not there is an alternate budget proposal.
Right. Mm.
There is, I'm going to need more workers because I've got to maintain that safe distance. So I'll need more poll workers, and then I'll need more meals. So everything's kind of contingent on that. So, but for the primary, we're going to follow the PPP.
Okay.
Christine, if you make a note, you could contact, or have Kathy contact Family Ties, give them the day.
Okay.
Tell them about how many people. And then we'll probably do the same as we did for the PPP, get some coffee or pastry.
The other,
donuts.
the other do that.
That was a big hit.
It was a big
Everyone was
deal, but,
happy.
you know, where every town is
Yeah.
battling to find poll workers, I think it shows a little appreciation. They seem to like it.
Mhm.
Your idea, Deetta, was a good one.
Yay. So what day is that placement of candidates? We still don't know that?
Well, we'll do it in a meeting in September. I don't know what all our September meetings are.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we'll go down for approval of minutes in August the 7th meeting, 2020 revised.
Those were distributed at the last meeting, but there was some corrections. So it's been revised.
Move that we accept as revised.
Second.
All those improved. All those
Aye.
approved?
Aye.
Okay.
Andrea, you
Yeah.
have to say yours because people can't see you. Raise your hand.
Christine, was I being picky about that location as opposed to locations?
No, that's okay.
Was it? I just,
That's fine.
I-
You can change it.
Did you vote for the minutes?
I,
Okay.
All the, okay. Now the next one is August the 17th.
they looked good to me. I make a motion, we accept them as is.
Second.
All those in favor?
Here.
I,
Aye. Approved. That's all I got. Anything to do now?
No, because we're going to be
I'm
meeting
here.
Monday. So whatever we have,
Yeah,
we got to post that meeting by Thursday.
okay. So you need a date on that now, or?
Well, we agreed to August 31st at
Yeah.
4 p.m.
Right.
And that's going to be a webinar. So just so that we let anybody from the public that wants to make a comment on it,
Yeah.
you can let them in. They go into like a waiting room and then Chris will allow them in.
Okay.
You know, if you want to take comments. But I think as we get closer to it,
Yeah.
some of this stuff we normally do have comments at, so I don't want to restrict them. But it's up to it's really up to the board whether you
Yeah.
want to or not.
I have conflicting dates for the last day. Is it the 27th or the 29th to accept alternate positions?
What's Saturday, the 29th?
Saturday's the 29th. Okay, because I had the 27th. All right. All right. Thank you.
No, what you're thinking of on the 27th was the last day to register to vote
Right.
for the
Oh, okay.
FDR.
Okay.
I know the dates are running in. That's why we're trying to be careful with like ads going to the paper. I don't want to be more confusing, but yet I have to get certain ads out for these. I mean, we got to let the people know the applications are here for mail. We got to let them know this stuff, so. And by the way, I spoke to Rob Rock today. When we set the date, I immediately contacted Miguel and Bob Raposa and Steve Taylor from the Board of Elections. Then today, we contacted Rob Rock from the Secretary of State because Christine's starting to get some mail ballot requests back, and she's going to be able to enter them into the CVRS system. So he set all that up for us today. Did I tell you that's set up, Christine?
Yep, I've already entered them in.
Okay, so it's already up and running, so that's good. I have to say, I don't know who your next clerk will be, but as the board, we really can rely on the Secretary of State's office and the Board of Election. They are nothing but helpful to us. They're really a good asset for a board to rely on. Sometimes I call them for questions and I think, oh, they're gonna think you don't know anything. They are just as good and
Yeah.
and helpful and courteous, and I don't have anything but good things to say about both boards.
Good.
Okay, if someone will make a motion, we'll stay home.
Go home.
Go home.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
Second.